structure of the brain, forebrain. The brain is formed of three parts: forebrain or prosencephalon, the midbrain or mesencephalon, and the hindbrain or rhombencephalon. Forebrain or prosencephalon. The forebrain is the anterior two-third part of the brain that has two parts, telencephalon and diencephalon. Telencephalon possesses a region known as rhinencephalon. Rhinencephalon. It comprises a pair of small-sized olfactory lobes or rhinencephalon, which control the sense of smell. The anterior swollen part is called the olfactory bulb, and the posterior narrow part is called the olfactory tract. Cerebrum or telencephalon. Cerebral hemispheres are a part of large-sized lobes, which constitute almost 80% of the brain. The two cerebral hemispheres are together called the cerebrum. The deep cleft in the center from the front to the rear, which splits it into two halves, is called the longitudinal fissure. The surface of the cerebral hemisphere is called the pallium and has several folds called gyri that form ridges and depressions called sulci. The gyri increases the surface area of the cerebral cortex. A few sulci are well developed and form three deep grooves dividing each cerebral hemisphere into four lobes. They are the anterior frontal lobe, which controls complex thoughts and actions, expression of emotions, reasoning and learning, decision-making, willpower, etc. The parietal lobe, which controls perception of sensory stimuli, movement, orientation. Occipital lobe, which helps in decoding and interpreting of visual information like shape and color. The temporal lobe, which helps in decoding and interpreting sound, language comprehension, smell, memory, and emotion. Diencephalon or thalamencephalon. Three parts form the diencephalon: epithalamus, thalamus, and hypothalamus. The epithalamus is a non-nervous tissue which is thin and vascular. The anterior portion is folded to form the anterior choroid plexus. At the posterior end, the pineal stalk is found, which ends in the pineal body. The pineal body is the endocrine gland that produces the hormone melatonin. The thalamus consists of grey matter and is surrounded by the cerebral hemisphere on either side. The hypothalamus is attached to the pituitary gland by means of a stalk called infundibulum. It is connected to the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland by nerve fibers and the anterior lobe by a complex system of blood vessels. With the help of these connections, the hypothalamus controls the output of hormones from these lobes. The thalamus and hypothalamus, along with the hippocampus and amygdala, constitute the limbic system or the emotional brain. The hippocampus is a portion of cerebral hemisphere that helps in establishing memories. The amygdala is an almond-shaped structure lying at the end of the hippocampus.